Okay, great story. I mean, what a devastating situation in Vanuatu. Devastation, chaos, those are some of the words that were used to describe the situation. It's very important. Michelle Mackey joining you with your forecast for Ontario. Let's get into it. Beginning on Friday morning, we are going to see some cloud cover through the early morning hours, but as we get into Friday day and evening, we will see some clearing before our next system rolls through on Saturday. Now, this is going to be mostly a rain story, but you're going to see this cold front. So places like Ottawa, Eastern Ontario, that's where we could get into some mixing. And as that cold front passes through, we'll see a changeover into the precipitation. So it is going to be seasonal, though. That's the good news with Saturday. 7 degrees. So we're just above the seasonal high of 6 for Toronto. But Sunday, we really see a drop in those temperatures. As that system pushes to the east, it's going to usher in high pressure from the north, so it's going to be clear once again, but chilly. -1 for Toronto, feeling like -7, so the wind chill is going to be in play once again. We'll keep you posted with everything you need to know coming up after your locals on the 10s. And it's been pretty great. We've seen some beautiful imagery through the sky. Just check out Carl's photo from Alliston. And you know, we want to see your photos too. You can send them to us via Twitter. I'm at Michelle Mackey, or you can send them to upload.theweathernetwork.com. Share in our weather story. We want to hear from you. Here's what we can expect in terms of our temperatures through the overnight hours. It is going to be a chilly evening. It's going to be feeling closer to -7. But as we get into Friday afternoon, those temperatures, they begin to rebound. The sun will be shining. The perfect day to usher in the first official day of spring. How about that? We're getting there. So widespread 7s, but as we get up into Barrie, 8. Not too bad, is it? Let's take you now to our must-see video. Since we started recording these snowfall records for Charlottetown. Now, this is a really interesting comparison that I want to show you. Charlottetown this season, we've seen 487 centimeters of snowfall. In Whistler, at the peak, 491 centimeters of snow. So well below seasonal. Over 1,000 centimeters of snow is what they usually get in Whistler. So yeah, it has been a bit of a rough time, hasn't it? All right, current systems across the country. We do have that area of high pressure in place over Ontario and Quebec. We are watching this system as it makes its way into northwestern Ontario, and then eventually Saturday it is going to bring us some active weather through southern Ontario. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of it, if you will. All right, so Friday, you can see we're clear through southern Ontario, and then Saturday, there's your low, and then Sunday, clearing in behind it, but those temperatures, they are going to take a plunge Sunday and into Monday. But here's what you can expect for your Saturday. Temperatures, again, we are looking at 7s for Toronto, Barrie, 4 degrees, but we do have the chance of seeing some rain showers. We have a stateside system that's skirting through, and by the time that passes, oh, that's not your stateside system, pardon me. That's your phasing of systems. And by the time that passes on Sunday, there's the drop in the temperature. So we are getting back down into the minus single digits, but we're getting into this really nice area of high pressure. So we are going to see lots of sunshine for the first week of spring. So a good week maybe to get out and enjoy a bike ride. And how will you be ringing in spring? It's Friday. Let me know on Twitter below. Michelle Mackey joining you in today for Gary Archibald. Let's take a look at what we can expect for Friday. We have the potential of seeing some mixing through southern Ontario through the pre-dawn hours, but it's going to be clearing for southern Ontario into the afternoon, and those temperatures, widespread 7 degrees for the most part. That's above seasonal. We're going to remain with those seasonal temperatures and above for Saturday, but we do run the risk of some light showers in throughout the day because we do have a system that's passing through. But by Sunday, we are going to see clearing skies, yes, but the price we pay for that, colder temperatures. So lots to do this weekend. Of course, it's March break for the kids, and all week Kevin Yard has been getting out having some fun. Here he is from earlier today. That looks like so much fun. And shout out to Lang Pioneer Village as well near Peterborough. That was a big part of my childhood growing up. Really loved that. Here's what we can expect for your temperatures as we move into the weekend. You'll see the lighter colors stick around until we get to Sunday, and then Ontario, Quebec, we're going to see those temperatures drop Sunday and into Monday. Here's what we can expect for the next 7 days through Toronto, and it's a similar story in Barrie, but those temperatures are going to be above the freezing mark, so this will be a rain story. Well, guess what? Spring is on the way tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning into the Weather Network. Michelle Mackey joining you in today for Gary Archibald. That's where you can find me on Twitter below. I'd love to hear from you throughout the evening. Let's get started with those days. Approaching 12 hours of sun through the city of Toronto. This is March the 20th, sunrise 7:21 a.m., sunset 7:30 p.m. So if you had any plans going out, maybe hitting the town, sitting on a patio, the temperatures are going to be warm enough and the sun shining again till 7:30. But through the overnight, we do have those wind chills to contend with. Going to be feeling like -9. Bundle up. And we also have some active weather through the evening, moving into northwestern Ontario. This is a system out of the prairies. Widespread snow expected. So if you had any travel plans this evening through northern Ontario, they will be affected. And then we are going to see a warm start to your Friday. Look at these arrows here. That shows the flow of air coming from the south through southern Ontario. That's why we're seeing those temperatures bump up. More on that in a second. But first, this is how much snow we can expect through northern Ontario. Moosonee, we could see up to 10 centimeters of snow. That's not just conversational snow. That is impactful snow, particularly getting into spring. It's a tough situation to deal with. But here are your temperatures. Friday afternoon, not so tough in Windsor, 9 degrees. Toronto, 7. And the sun is going to be shining. Yes, please. What a way to usher in spring. We also have a full solar eclipse up in the north. Won't be able to see that in southern Ontario. But hey, these temperatures, I'm pretty happy with any news right now when I've got 7 degrees to contend with. Barrie even warmer at 8 degrees and widespread 7s across the board. Not too bad, right? Now, as we get into Saturday, it's going to be a similar story. Sunday, though, we are going to see a big temperature drop, and I'll let you know more about that throughout the hour. Saturday, though, that's when those clear skies do become a little bit iffy. We could run the chance of seeing some rain, which is good if you want that snow melting. 7 degrees as your high, as I mentioned. And then Sunday, high pressure moving into place. And then in behind this low, we're getting that wraparound cold air ushering in that northerly flow. That's why it's going to be feeling much colder and below seasonal to start off the week. Next week, hey, the kids going back to school. We've had a pretty good March break, though, haven't we? Into Sunday, there's your colder air. And I want to point out Atlantic Canada, we do have a major system coming for the east. And that, of course, not good news after this wild week of weather. Yikes, those Aussies, eh? Just kidding. I used to live in Australia, so I'm allowed to have some fun. Michelle Mackey joining you in today for Gary Archibald. It is Thursday. It is the 19th of March, one day away from spring. And through the overnight, Toronto, well, those temperatures aren't going to be feeling so spring-like. -1 this evening, but when we factor in the wind chill, it's going to be feeling closer to -7. So any plans tonight, bundle up. Certainly not patio weather. But a different story as we move into Friday. I'll get to that in just a moment. But first, overnight, widespread, we are looking at some cloud cover, -5. And through the north, through those areas, that's where we're talking about wind chill values into the minus double digits once again. But Friday, look at this beautiful rebound. The sun is going to come out. Toronto, 7 degrees above seasonal. That is patio weather for sure. Okay, maybe not, but we're Canadians, right? We're hardy Canadians. However, we do have a little bit of a stateside system to deal with Friday. This is going to be mostly through the pre-dawn hours, through southern Ontario, widespread cloud cover, and then through the northern shores of Lake Erie. That's where we could see some snow, but not much in the way of accumulation. It's not going to really affect the Friday morning commute by any means. It's more of that conversational snow. Now we'll look ahead through select cities. Again, Friday, Saturday, we are seeing those temperatures nice and warm, but as we move into Sunday, a big drop in those temperatures following the passage of that system. We'll get those strong wraparound winds, making the wind chill feel it as well. You've got to see this. Check this out. Our must-see video. Rebounding nicely right around that seasonal mark. High pressure, and that extends all the way out into the east. This is our current systems map. Let's talk about what we're looking at across the country as well. We are dealing with this system through the prairies, and as we move into Friday, it's going to make its way into northern Ontario, and that could bring a messy mix, but mostly snow. Now, Saturday, this same system tracks to the southeast, and you can see we are getting into some precipitation for southern Ontario. But again, temperatures, they are going to be seasonal. Always fun on our trip around the world with Kim McDonald. And yes, send us your photos and videos. That is my Twitter handle. I would love to hear from you. Let's get into your forecast because we have a lot to talk about. First of all, spring is tomorrow, less than 1 day away. But those temperatures through the overnight really not reflecting those spring-like temperatures. They're going to be chilly, -4s across the board. And we are looking at wind chill values around -7, -8. So cold that we could see some precip falling through the overnight through the south into your pre-dawn Friday morning that could fall as snow. More on that throughout the hour. Friday afternoon, though, we're going to see those temperatures really begin to rebound. Barrie of note, 8 degrees. A great day to ring in spring, of course, maybe after work. Head out for the first bike ride of the season. Not bad. But it's a different story in the east. Well, the snowiest season that Charlottetown has had on record. How about that? Snow that has fallen this season, 487 centimeters. In yellow, that's your normal, what we usually see. And in comparison to Whistler, Blackcomb at the peak, 491 centimeters, and their average over 1,000. So they're below, Charlottetown is above, and we're evening out. That just gives you an idea of how significant the snowfall has been in the east. Now for Friday, we are going to be dealing with high pressure through the Maritimes. We're going to see that low that brought us all that active weather depart. But then by Saturday, we're going to see a phasing of systems into the east, but the temperatures are going to be warm enough that it's going to be a rain story for the most part through Nova Scotia, which could spell trouble. But as we look to Ontario, high pressure moves into place for Sunday and Monday, but those temperatures are going to be quite cool. But Saturday, above seasonal.